Hi everyone, it's time for our next video in the series of little flowers from Hanna Karlzon's jewellery box using Black Widow pencils. Let us have a look at our fourth picture. We have sort of a double floral look with a couple of buds at the top. Now the flower centres are interesting. I'm really tempted to do these black in the middle. I think I will. Why not? Let's start there. I don't know why, it just looks like that's what it wants to be. I'm going to use the flat black. I don't know whether it's hugely different to the Black Widow, but I'm going to try it. I need to sharpen it. What I want to do with these circles in the centre is to try and make is to try to make them lighter as I go towards the centre. So put a more defined and intense black around the edge and then a bit less towards the middle. Let's see if we can get it to behave. So you can see I'm going to layer up around here and then slowly put less and less. It's a really small space to do that in, but I think I've achieved that. It might be tricky for you to see. Depends whether you're watching on a phone or a huge wall-sized telly, really. It's a scary thought, you watching me on a huge wall-sized telly. I've just remembered something exciting. It's the first Eurovision Song Contest semi-final tonight. Now, if you're not from Europe. Now, with these ones round here, I'm going to try and achieve the same thing. They are thin, and I'm not sure that I'm going to be able to, but I want to give it a go. Yeah, if you're not from Europe, you might not know much about it, although I do yap on about it every year. Now what happens is every country in Europe, plus a few others, are invited to enter a song, and then on tonight, Tuesday, it's actually remember I'm recording in advance, so it's the 13th of May. You would already know who the winner is if you're of any interest. Anyway, so they're all invited to enter a song into the song contest. Last year's winning country hosts the contest, and on Tuesday and Thursday there were two semi-finals, and most of the countries compete and 6 get knocked out each night, because they didn't used to have semi-finals, but so many countries now take part. It just goes on so late. It goes on really late anyway. They've tried a lot of different things to try to speed it up a little bit, like the voting is done in a little bit of a quicker way than it used to be. It's very complicated, the voting. Basically, it used to be voting by a jury, and each country, even if they didn't enter or didn't qualify, could judge from one from each country. The actual florals, I'm going to do these in... I was going to do yesterday's in blue and I did it in orange. Now I'm wondering whether to do a blue. I think I will. I'm going to grab the Blue Horizon to start with. I've got to find it. So yes, so the panel all vote, and they are sort of music experts, apparently. Here's the Blue Horizon. And we tend to get told who's on our panel in our country. Anyway, so they all judge and they mark the best. They don't give marks to every country. They give marks to the top 10 or 11. So the top country gets 12, then the next one gets 10, the next one gets 8, and then I'm not sure. I think it might be the top 10 get marks. As I say, it's complicated, and that is 50% of their score. And then countries that are watching get the opportunity to phone vote. So you can phone in and vote for your favourite song, and you can't vote for your own country. Now, there used to be a lot of tactical voting and political voting where certain countries always gave each other top score. For example, the UK and Malta always used to give each other top score, and we always used to also score Ireland very high, you know, neighbours. And the same would happen in Scandinavian countries, they would score each other high. However, it doesn't quite do, it doesn't happen quite the same anymore, thankfully. I think people have become too suspicious of this being the case. But I do think there is something in that, you know, for example, I would think that Scandinavia might be more likely to share a taste in music with each other because of them being close neighbours, and maybe, you know, the music they listen to being similar compared to, say, us and Iceland, you know. So, you know, it's quite fascinating. But there's also in Europe, the competition is taken very seriously. And so countries that take it seriously get more respect from the voters, not the panel so much. They have to sort of remain, I'm going to use the forget-me-not next. They have to try and remain professional and not think about that. But the voting public, you know, what happens is that the contestants do like a tour of Europe, and they sort of have to promote themselves and their song, and if they can show that they are big fans of Eurovision and a lot of respect for the competition, things like that, that's going to go in their favour massively. But also the song, there's a lot in the song. It has to have a good message, has to be delivered well, has to have good staging on the night. It has to have the right sort of message. However, different types of songs have won in different years. So we've had rock songs winning, folk songs, sort of violin solo songs, sort of love songs, or ones with environmental messages, or nice love stories, or peace messages, you know, but they're not allowed to be political, the songs. There are certain countries who are not allowed to take part at the moment. We're not going to get political and say who. There are other countries who people think shouldn't be taking part and do, and there was a little bit of hoo-ha last year with the contestants. I think the thing we have to remember is that once the competition starts, the contestants have no control who is allowed and who isn't. Denim. And so we just need to respect that. You know, they're people. They're usually quite young, quite vulnerable. You know, it's not their fault that what's going on politically. You know, they're just trying to have some fun and you know, whatever. But it's difficult. But anyway, any songs that are seen to be political in any way are banned, and that's, yeah. Now, we hosted quite recently because Ukraine won, and they couldn't host because of their position, obviously. And they won quite a few times, actually. Not as many times as us. A lot of people say we never win the UK, we're always rubbish, we always do badly. It's not true. We have won quite a lot of times. But we came second that year, which was a really fantastic result. The guy who took part was very smiley, very friendly, had a really good song, and a huge respect for Eurovision. He ticked all the boxes, but he didn't quite, his song wasn't quite as catchy as Ukraine's. I can still remember Ukraine's, and can't really remember his. Anyway, but we got to host, but we were sort of on behalf of them. So we've done it quite recently, and so I'm excited. I like it. I don't like singing competitions normally. I don't like the X Factor or the Voice, things like that, because I feel like they ridicule the contestants at the beginning, and I don't know, I don't like the format. Whereas this one is everyone gets to perform. You know, you do have to have a semi-final because it's there's too many. But everybody's respected and treated nicely, and it's all fun, and you know, it's about fun, and listening to songs from other countries is so interesting because their costumes are very different to what we might have chosen, their song choice, their everything. I'm going back to my Blue Horizon, and I'm going to put a darker line around the middle. And you know, the way they dance, the way everything can be quite different, and I just think it's almost like an education in how different countries do it. I mean, obviously this might not be typical of the type of music they like in their country, because it's got to win this competition. So our entries are rarely sort of traditional songs that I'm putting a little bit in here, look, that we would normally listen to, but I just find it fascinating, really interesting. I'm going to do a bit here as if we can see a bit of shadow under this one. I'm not sure if it's going to show up very much. I'll get onto the leaves in a minute. There we go. But yeah, I'm excited. It's because it always falls close to my birthday, always after my birthday, never on my birthday, because of the timing of it. But that always helps. Just, you know, it feels like an extra treat just after my birthday. Now, colours. I'm thinking we could go a little grey-green here. So I'm going to get the iceberg colour, which is quite light, as you can see, and put it all over the leaves and stem, and then go over with a darker one. There's a charcoal. I don't think we've used it. Why have I got a feeling we've used it? We haven't. I'm just don't know. Anyway, so yes, I'm excited about that, but I've got to get a set. It starts at 8, finishes at 10:30, so I'm going to be shattered. So I need to go to bed at 8 and watch it in bed. So I need to think about how I'm going to do that, because the TV in my bedroom doesn't work, and it's really small. It's not big enough. I need to be able to see the screen. I want to see the costumes. I want, you know, and I might see if I can borrow my husband's laptop, or I could watch it on my tablet. That's another thing. It's not quite that. It's not that big, but it might work. The only other thing is, where do I prop it up so I can see it if I'm sitting in bed? Whereas the laptop's quite handy. Actually, my husband's got a little shelfie thing that he props the laptop up on. Might be able to borrow that. To have a think. Got to get it think it through. So I'm all ready and set up. Then on Saturday, the final will go on till midnight, past midnight. I always struggle to stay awake. But watching the semi-final means that I've seen a lot of the acts already. Now, there are acts that don't that aren't in the semi-final, but they do perform in the semi-final, but they're through anyway, and they call them the Big Five. I'm going to grab the charcoal green. They are France, Italy, Spain, UK and Germany, charcoal green, and they pay more money towards the competition. I think it's the BBC that pays here, I'm not entirely sure though. And so they get an automatic buy to the final because they pay more money. And also the host nation, because obviously they pay a lot. I think I need a bit more going on here. Should we make the tips of the leaves darker, or bring some? I think we'll bring it up from the base. That makes more sense to me. I'm gonna put some on top of here. So yeah, exciting. And my cousin, second cousin, my dad's cousin he really likes it too. He's often posting stuff about it. He lives in London. I rarely see him, but he used to live in Australia, and Australians love Eurovision, really do, which is interesting in itself. And they are able to take part now. They begged and begged, and they were able to take part. So that was interesting. They've had some interesting entries over the years. Really interesting. So we'll see what they come up with. It's always just interesting to see what people do. You know, you have had famous people take part. Cliff Richard took part back in the day, and it was Lulu, wasn't it, who won it for the UK Bucks Fizz. Katie and the Wailers have won it for UK. Probably never heard of these people. Engelbert Humperdinck has taken part. Michael Ball. Johnny Logan, of course, won it twice for Ireland. And Duncan Lawrence is my son's favourite winner. I'm not sure where he was from. And who else? We've had, is it Mika? He's going to do quite well. Is it Loretta? I can't remember who won the year before. Is that her name? No, I think I'm making it up. I'm making up stuff now. Just ignore me. Right, here we are. I am happy with that one. I'm going to finish there. Stop waffling about Eurovision. Too excited, that's what it is. So there we go. They're quite simple, but I think they're quite fun to do. I just wanted something small and easy, really. So there we go. Thank you for watching today. As I said yesterday, please do like, subscribe and comment. Makes such a difference to the channel. Just clicking that, ticking that thumbs up or thumbs down, whatever takes your fancy. Just one or the other. Engagement with the video is what YouTube likes. Thank you so much and have a super day. Happy colouring.